a la marcha, compañeros, compañeras, bienvenidas a la marcha, compañeras, compañeras.
Hola, mi nombre es Omar León, soy de México, de Michoacán, vivo en Los Ángeles. I'm a musician, songwriter, and an activist. My first keyboard, I picked it up from a neighbor. He had a yard sale, and he was selling this old keyboard. And at the end of the day, he didn't sell some items, and he was throwing these items to the trash. And I told him, "You're gonna throw away the keyboard?" And he told me, "Yes." And I said, "Can I take it home?" I said, "Go ahead." So that was my first keyboard. Some of the keys was broken, but my mom, who at that time was a housekeeper, saw how interested I was in music, and so she told me, "One day I will buy you a professional keyboard." And they say, "Oh, that's my dream." After her shift, probably 8 or 12-hour shift, she will walk all the way from the hotel where she used to work at by the beach, and she will be collecting cans. And when she had a lot of bags full of cans, she went and sold them, and she got me my first keyboard. So it's very, very significant to me because I'm a musician because of my mom, and because of she believe in me. And every time I think of music, I say I don't only have to do music to benefit myself or for my ego. I have to do music that creates change for hardworking people, because I think of my parents. I've traveled to different countries singing ballads, Paraguay, Argentina, Guatemala, most of Mexico and the United States. But I love Los Jornaleros del Norte because they take me down and put me down in the ground, where I realize that art can be used to also promote a fair treatment, to promote liberty, and to promote the pursuit of happiness for everyone, because sometimes the pursuit of happiness here in the United States only applies to white people. It doesn't apply to the black or brown communities. Pablo Alvarado and Manuel Ortiz are two of the founders of the band, and they created the band based on ICE immigration rate in City of Industry. One of the former band members was looking for work at a day labor corner, and a raid happened. So he wrote a corrido, and based on that they decided to start a band that sing the stories of immigrants. And that was more than 20 years ago. The beauty of this band is that every member is unique. There's the member that has his own marimba band. Then there's this guy that plays at a salsa band as a side job. I'm a ballad singer. But when we come together to the marches, rally, protests, we are Los Jornaleros del Norte.
Asómate a la ventana, te traje una serenata, aunque estés encarcelado, mira, te canta quien te ama, por ti me juego la vida. Que leyes tan injustas. que buscan el separarnos. Nos juzgan de criminales por ser indocumentados. No saben que nuestras manos a ellos los tienen tragando. A donde vayas te sigo, si te deportan también. A la chingada este norte. Porque sin ti ya pa' qué. Mis hijos desconsolados me preguntan por su padre y yo no puedo mentirles, la situación es muy grave. Usted, señor presidente, huérfanos quiere dejarles. A donde vayas te sigo, si te deportan también. A la chingada este norte. Porque sin ti ya pa' qué.
The idea came about, we were marching, literally like we were marching outside of the detention center and we heard all this like knocking on the window. We looked up and it was literally like folks that are in the detention center, like with their plates or whatever they have, like knocking, like letting us know that they were there and they saw us. And as the sun comes down, you see like them turning their lights on and off, or they have flashlights, I don't know, but it looks like stars beaming. Soy Loida Alvarado Rentería, soy mexicana, hija de inmigrantes. I am the vocalist and widow player, percussionist for Los Jornaleros del Norte, a band that is, you know, the soundtrack of the movement for migrant rights. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I can't even like finish the song when I'm singing it live, because I look up and I see somebody. And we've seen like people that will put their immigration number, they get a number with an A at the beginning and then a number, and they'll put it on the window because they literally like have no one to call, have no one to like identify them. And then we see like immigration ripping families apart, going into their homes and taking them, you know, like going into their cars and taking parents from like their children, you know? And to me, it's like, these are the folks that are inside, you know? And there's so much misconceptions around, oh, these people must have done something, you know? Or, oh, it's the law, they gotta respect the law. But like, think about it, like so many things were lawful. Slavery was lawful, you know? Segregation was lawful. All these things were lawful, and yet like they were wrong. And something being a law doesn't mean that it's right. I was undocumented for a long time, and I understand the fear. I've literally been on the streets where like we see, you know, immigration or police come in and workers run, and like they don't care if cars are coming, you know, they're like just running because they know, you know, that could potentially lead to deportation. I was there as an undocumented person, and I understood my privilege. because I look a certain way, because I speak English, because I have an education. I understood all the privileges that I was given by my mother, who, you know, came here undocumented and did so much for us to be able to, like, you know, get an education and have a good future. I started working for an organization called IDEPSCA, which is the Institute of Popular Education of Southern California. They manage several day labor centers across Los Angeles. I worked for them for, I would say, 3 years before I started working for the National Day Labor Organizing Network, and my role there was as the National Safety and Health Coordinator. What led me to that work literally was my mom. My mom, like as I mentioned, she came undocumented and she worked cleaning houses, and she raised us, like as a single mother. She raised my siblings and I. She worked so hard, but she always like fought for her rights. She never took anything less than what she deserved. You know, she never allowed anyone to take advantage of her. I have this picture of my mother. She's wearing a huipil, which is like one of those Mexican shirts, and she's holding a sign. And I think that's the most beautiful picture, because she's like, you know, like this Mexican woman without, you know, like a formal education, but that is so much involved, and that is the embodiment of beauty to me. And the way that she just like not only cared for her rights, but she also went and fought for others. We live in a system that is so anti, you know, anti-Latino, anti-Black, anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, anti-queer, you know, like, and for us is like, our existence is beautiful. I think that that's what keeps me going, just loving our culture, loving our people, loving like everything that we bring to the table, and celebrating it. And I think that through music, we're able to do that. We're able to just celebrate who we are. We're able to celebrate our struggles. We're able to celebrate our victories. And that in a way fuels like what we do. There's a saying in Spanish that said that, I mean, in English it would be like, they try to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds, you know? It's such a system of oppression that keeps trying to like get rid of us and bury us, but we continue to thrive, we continue to flourish, we become beautiful like trees and flowers and these plants that like are so resilient, you know? And I love that, because I feel like that's who we are, and that's what keeps me going.
Chambear ahí en el Home Depot. Me fui a chambear ahí en el Home Depot. Me subí a la troca de un patrón canijo. Me subí a la troca de un patrón canijo. Tarde me di cuenta que era un vil ratero. Tarde me di cuenta que era un vil ratero. Ahora no me paga ese güey mi sueldo. Ahora no me paga ese güey mi sueldo. Y por eso les canto y por eso les digo, ese güey no paga. Y por eso les canto y por eso les digo, ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga.
Abusado jornalero, porque ese güey no paga. Puros cheques de hule que rebotan, point, point, point. Alto, cara de yo no fui, patilla larga, bigote caído, ceja poblada. No le haga confianza, no le haga confianza.
Me fui a chambear ahí en el Home Depot. Me fui a chambear ahí en el Home Depot. Me subí a la troca de un patrón canijo. Me subí a la troca de un patrón canijo. Tarde me di cuenta que era un vil ratero. Tarde me di cuenta que era un vil ratero. ahora no me paga. Ese güey mi sueldo, ahora no me paga. Ese güey mi sueldo, y por eso les canto y por eso les digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y por eso les canto y por eso les digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga.
Y abusado, anote la placa, tómele foto, anote la dirección, negocie bien antes de subirse a cualquier carro o troca. Dígale que hoy no se fía, mañana sí. Día pagado, día trabajado, jejepa. Cuídate jornalera, cuídate jornalero. Que no te trancen, jejepa.
Y por eso les canto y por eso les digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y por eso les canto y por eso les digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y si sale su esposa también le gritó.
Ese güey no
Y
paga.
salieron sus hijos y yo les digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y salió su vecino y yo le digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y llegó el reportero y yo le digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y llegó el policía y yo le digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y llegó el periodista y yo le digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Y salió su Sancho y yo le digo.
Ese güey no paga.
Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. Ese güey no paga. No paga ese güey.
Only very few bands can say, oh, I was outside the owner of this very wealthy construction company, outside his home, protesting because he didn't pay his workers. And I was there protesting with the workers with my music. We have a song that says, this dude doesn't pay, ese güey no paga. We have this song called Lucha, Lucha, Fight, Fight. We've been working shoulder to shoulder with the 5 for 15 campaign. We've been working together with the fast food workers when they were asking Burger King, McDonald's, and those companies, those corporations to pay them more, to give them benefits. And we have written a single song for every different campaign, every different work industry. We went with the poor workers, with the truck drivers of San Pedro. And that's the beauty of this band. It's a very humble band. We're not great musicians, but we care.
Song and music has the power of reaching, like not just through a wall to the people that it's meant to serenade, but it's also reaching other people that otherwise would not even care. I feel that whether it's good or bad, my voice is serving a purpose, and that purpose is bigger than me and my insecurities, and I have to use it to be able to project and portray like what we see. I can tell you how many times I've gone to the corners and workers don't even look at me in the eyes. Like, you'll ask them a question and they'll look down. And that to me is such a sign of how much they've been put down. They've been told that like you're worthless, you don't even deserve to look at me in the eyes. And I want to tell them like, no, look at me in the eyes, lift up your chin because you matter and you are deserving of everything that is good in this world. You are deserving of respect, you are deserving of dignity, and you are very much valued.
There was a big high wall there that tried to stop me. A sign was painted, said private property, but on the back side it didn't say nothing. This land was made for you and me. Y llegaron los jornaleros del norte. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway and saw above me that endless skyway, I saw below me the golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled and followed my footsteps to the sparkling sounds of her diamond deserts. All around me, a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
¿De quién es este mundo? No es suyo, tampoco es mío. Del mar hasta río somos los niños de Tonantzin. Pachamama nos da la land of the free. Home de valientes, pueblos indígenas, los originarios residentes. Y pa' siempre los herederos, maya, azteca, pescador y jornaleros. Y no dividieron la tierra miles de años sin la frontera. Califa de New York State, ni barrera, Nahua o Lenape. Mi América lleva acento en la E. We've been here, you white supremacists cannot stay. Land of MLK, Fannie Lou and Chavez, not Bull Connor, Arpaio o George Wallace. Quieren colonizar la gente, por más que trate el pueblo está presente. Sus dientes velados, puro alarde, nuestro coraje los hace cobardes. Mira que arde el barrio, con nuevas huertas, Cáceres, Bowens y Bolivarios. Despertando compañeros, y ven güeros, liberando sin odio, sin miedo.
There was a big high wall there that tried to stop me. A sign was painted, said private property, but on the backside it didn't say nothing. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining, then I was strolling in wheat fields waving and dust clouds rolling. The voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
Se me hace que vamos a abrir una agencia de actrices y actores.
There's so much talent out there, so many artists that have so much to give. And we've been able to work with so many talented artists from LA, from different places. And I just want to tell them, let's continue to uplift each other. Let's continue to work towards making, this world better. through our art, through our music, through what we have to offer. I want to invite them to do that. I want to invite them to not just sing about it, but actually do the work, actually like show up for the community, actually work towards making this world better.
We do it mainly because we want them to know that there's a lot of people that cares about them, that they're not alone. It's not just the fact that, oh, today I'm free and I'm gonna bring music to the detainees at the detention center just to look cool or just to get some views on Facebook or on Instagram. We do it because it's a work that we believe in, and we want to make sure that those fathers, those mothers that are facing this deportation, that their sacrifice doesn't go in vain, that they know that there's people working hard to create change.
Todos en unión en esta elección. Tu voto es tu voz, tiene que contar. La diferencia juntos vamos a marcar.
Vota, decide, elige bien firme. Vota, decide, elige bien firme.
Vamos, vamos, vamos a votar. Ejerce tu derecho sin dudar. Latinos en un solo corazón, con decisión y orgullo alza la voz. Vamos, vamos, vamos a votar. Ejerce tu derecho sin dudar. Latinos en un solo corazón, con decisión y orgullo alza la voz.
I am 20 years old and I am registered to vote this November. I will be voting because the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness have never been applied to Black, brown, Asian, indigenous, or queer people in this country.
Vota, decide, elige bien firme. Vota, decide, elige bien firme.
Vamos, vamos, vamos a votar. Ejerce tu derecho sin dudar. Latinos en un solo corazón, con decisión y orgullo alza la voz. Vamos, vamos, vamos a votar. Ejerce tu derecho sin dudar. Latinos en un solo corazón, con decisión y orgullo alza la voz.